What are you going to do? Don't hit the camera. All right, let's kick it off.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, welcome back to Final Sector on the fuzzy orange cat edition.
I'm gonna have fun editing
Special
this.
guest. The second race since the return after the summer break. Of course, we are going back to Italy, although I guess we never went because it was cancelled the first time. So we're going to where we've never been this year when we were supposed to have been.
Yes.
But we are going to the Temple of Speed, the home of the Tifosi of Ferrari. We're going to Monza, one that I think, you could say a bit of a different circuit. I mean, we've been to some circuits that have, long straights and more speed circuits, but really nothing like this, since a lot of really teams have brought updates, changed things around. So I think it really opens it up. Maybe not near the top where we've got a certain team that actually have really, really damn good top speed, but other areas, hey, I think it's a bit of a curveball here. We could have things mixed up from P3 down. Who knows, right? But we'll just have to see. But what are you excited to see here? What's on your short list of things going on?
It basically never rains at Monza, right? Never rains there, right?
We had that one time where Stroll, was a bit special, but no one remembers that.
The last time, this was yesterday, I don't know if it's updated since then, there was a 50% chance of rain for the Sunday for the race, so boy, that'd shake things up even more, wouldn't
but
it?
It never rains in F1.
No,
What do you...
Nah, it doesn't happen. If that happened, I don't even know what I would say. It can't happen again, surely. It can't.
No.
Surely.
Not.
I'm I'm basing all of my predictions on a dry race because it's going to be dry. I just want a dry race for once. I've had a lot of wet races. There's been a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to see who's got the... Monza always throws up a little bit of a surprise. You know what? You look back at the last 5 years at Monza, we've had 5 different winners. Like, we've had, Max last year, we had Ricciardo 2021. Granted, Max or Lewis would have won that if they didn't take each other out. We had the really famous Gasly in 2020 in the AlphaTauri as well. We had Leclerc 2019, and then we had 2018 Lewis. This is a track that can throw up a bit of a curveball, particularly even at the top. And it does require sometimes some circumstances going their way, but it seems to happen here more regularly than other places. Just, I guess, due to the nature of the track, the high-speed nature, the really long braking zones and like hard braking zones as well.
Yes.
I think it just throws up that chance for a bit of a shake-up. The last wet race we had here was Monza 2008, and then before then I couldn't find anything until like 1981. Like, it doesn't rain, particularly on race day. It just doesn't. It doesn't rain here. I feel like we've had a lot of like lottery races. It feels like, we still have Max still ends up at the top just because he's just that much better than everyone else. But I kind of this is one of those tracks I kind of like seeing everyone really face off, and
especially the grid like we've got here.
Yes,
it
is
nice
very
to
close.
just see that neutral approach. Especially, I guess, as we think some of the more underdogs as well may be able to perform here too, which would be excellent.
You think the Williams with their real low draggy car, like you expect them, even coming off a weekend where no one really expected them to be quick, and they were quick there. Coming to a track where people sort of expect them to be quick, it kind of begs the question, how quick can they be? You have Ferrari are generally pretty quick here as well, just again due to the fact that their top end speed is usually pretty good compared to other teams as well. So it just does make it interesting. This track just does throw up some things. So I'm really, really excited to say the least.
For sure, a good one to have back to back, certainly. I guess because, look, as we've said before, in these back to backs there's normally not too many newsworthy items that come up until like the Thursday, when everyone arrives, or even the Friday morning, just because there's still a lot of debrief and news coming out of the prior race weekend.
Yes.
So we haven't seen anything outside of the weather. too much going on. I'm sure there'll be like low downforce configurations and others that we've seen maybe teased a little bit here and there throughout the year. But we'll see that in full once we arrive. One thing that I still don't think it's official, but is confirmed as far as I know, is that Ferrari are bringing a special team kit here and car kit. In celebration of their Le Mans victory they have. So their car apparently will be reflected more like the 2023 Le Mans 24-hour winner. So have, I guess, some of those yellow stripes and such. So that'll be nice to see, of course. But I guess it depends how well we think they will actually do here, because they have had mixed fortunes. We have seen them do, very well, but they've also seen them in the barrier, quite literally, or without any brakes, etc., etc. So, but I guess there's nothing else to really go into. So I suppose we can look at, predictions, and also even just talk about a few other teams post that if we want to as well. There's probably a little bit we can discuss there too. But
sure.
Yeah, so we do need to catch up from last week. I guess we both were seeing more orange than, the expected orange in P1.
Yep.
I think even as the race was going on, it still could have played out a certain way where that was possible, but it still was also a bit of a lottery, so we both just got the single point. Yep. And we were very close also to getting the bonus point for P6, but we both just missed out on that too.
Yeah, we were talking about literally just before we started recording, where Sainz, who you predicted, ended up P5, and Russell, before he went out with the puncture, was running P7, and his teammate was running P6. So really, we both
pretty
sort
good
of
guesses.
We both kind of get a point, I guess.
So with a point each, I go up to 26, and you go up to 23.5. So there's still plenty of races, but not too many there. So it depends how safe, how bold you're going to go. We still have a race where you have to pick where we think actually Max will not be Super Max and will be Super DNF, but this could be a circuit. You may pick it right. It is a very, what's the word? High wear on the car, on both brakes, on engine.
Yep.
We are getting to the point in the season where we may start seeing, new parts, new regulars, things start to burn out. So it's likely that some of those parts that are closer to an edge could go pop here. But I guess it depends on what we think. But I guess we should do our random position first. We normally do that first. And the number that we will get is going to be... It's 6 again, but that's the same as
No. We can't do the same.
It's 4.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
I was thinking someone way further down, and then you said 4, and I'm like, I haven't thought past P1, 2, 3.
I'll go Hamilton for P4.
Okay. Yep, that's probably a fair shout. I can't go bold. I need the points. I was gonna go bold and say Albon, but I'm not.
Okay.
Because I think he could be up there, but I think P4 is a bit of a stretch. We'll go Sainz. P4.
Okay, that's interesting.
All right.
P4. Okay. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to say that. So I guess I will ask the questions I've been asking for a few weeks now. Is this a weekend where you think the man on the verge of breaking that record and that chain will not break it? That's right. You think the record's going to stay. That's why you're shaking your head. We always live with medals, so long live the champion.
Yeah. So, I think their reliability has been... I know it can sort of change at any point, but their reliability has been pretty insane. And again, their top-end speed and their DRS gains is just too large at the moment to really see Max anywhere other than P1. I think here even more than the Dutch Grand Prix. I feel like, I just can't see it here. I feel like he's just going to storm, and I think it could be if it does stay dry, I think it could be quite a big victory for Max here. I think this could be one of the real big ones, like where he's 20-30 seconds ahead. So. Yeah,
even in interrupted race, one of those lap most or all of the field type affairs, like
it feels like
it could be that level of dominance. But I guess we still have to see, as we say, the start of the year, I guess we saw for those some of the higher speed configurations was that Red Bull did have a big edge, but we haven't really had any of them in the meantime for a while, so therefore some
It
teams
is
may
true,
come with
yeah.
something as a surprise.
Yep.
Do we think it'll close the gap? No, I don't think so. I think, again, Max, I think, will still be P1, and I've put him as such as well. You could say he's on such a roll, and you're like, yeah, but then he's always going to be in a roll, That's the whole... That's the whole point of us trying to think about a time when he's not going to be on it. But I think especially off of last weekend, with this being a back-to-back, it's like the peak of the peak is like where he's at right now. You couldn't be peakier than he is right now. He's on cloud 11, right? He's gone. But so unless it's an inkling of something going awry, or maybe some of that reliability will start to set in. Who knows if something might happen to either car, and then you start thinking, okay, now it seems a little more realistic. But it's this is the furthest you've been to bet against him winning it, I think, than you could have been his whole career at this point, right?
Yeah. Unless someone decides, like, as a back marker, they decide, oh, there he is, just turn into him and take him out. I just can't see it happening.
Then I guess for P2, if we think that Red Bull is going to be so strong, do we think that the number 2 Red Bull in a normal race without many issues will have a freebie? They can't really stuff up the qualifying. They can't really do that bad to overtake cars. Or could they still really be off the pace? I say they. We know who they is. It's Checo, right?
Yes.
But still.
The third Red Bull driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Perez should have P2 in the bag here. I think it would be... If they're as strong as I'm predicting, I think it would be kind of a real letdown if he doesn't at least get P2. Unless, it could be a lot closer than I think, then, my opinion changes. But if they are really dominant, he should absolutely secure that P2, and I've got him P2, so...
Yeah, I mean, I've done the same. You can't bet against it. Like...
Yeah.
In any circuit where there's been a decent enough straight, regardless of how far he starts down, it's a freebie to overtake, right? It doesn't even need to try. So as long as there's not something, again, wrong with that car, which, again, that can happen anywhere, then you're just talking about, well, of course it could happen, but it can happen at any time.
Yeah.
You really don't see how it's you can bet against that. But I suppose then we have to go to what I think is a very interesting position, which is P3. It's really hard to know what teams we think will be solid here. I mean, as you say, Ferrari seem to have decent top speed when they can get it together, but whether they can get it together seems so random by weekend. Aston, you'd say, well, they were the kind of team that's probably going to be better on the twisty, curvy stuff, but they have pulled a bit of a surprise. McLaren are a giant question mark because they're supposed to be the ones that are bad on the straights, and yes, they weren't as strong at Spa, but that's because they were running a purposefully high downforce setup.
Yep.
And we've seen instances where their top speed's actually been insane when it shouldn't have been, so who knows? And then you've also got old reliable Mercedes who could just have a solid weekend with a strong car.
They're always there, yeah.
Yes, so it's, I guess we've had a bit of a tease in our P4 from both of us, but P3 maybe from you. I don't think you'll get what I've got here because I put silly things, but I think for you maybe you've gone maybe a bit more logical, but do take the thunder away. I've
gone conventional. I've gone Charles Leclerc for P3.
Okay.
So I again, looking back, it's all based on previous races, and you look at where Leclerc's done well. He's made the podium 3 times. All 3 of those races have been, ones where it's favorable to, it has like long straights. We got the P3 at Spa, where you have, if you have that low drag setup, you can make your way through.
Very true.
Austria, he got that P2. There's quite a lot of straights there as well. And then Baku, he got the P3, and it looks like he got that P2 in the sprint at Baku as well. If Ferrari can get it together and he doesn't get damaged, and I think he'll be P3, which again, why I've got Sainz P4 as well. That was that was a logical call for me. It was like I just see Ferrari being probably a little bit stronger than everyone else at somewhere like here. So,
and if you're going down that line, you think Leclerc's going to be strong. There's no reason to think that, again, outside of extenuating circumstances, that Sainz should be close behind.
Yeah,
then you're just going to put your money on one of them, right?
I think it's a little different with just because behind Red Bull it is so close. So you could argue for someone else, like with Max and Sergio, it's like if one's there, the other one should be there because they're just usually so much further ahead of everyone else. But with like Ferrari, in this instance, it's like, well, like you say, you could argue because Mercedes is always kind of there, and Williams, who knows if they've got a car that can actually fight. They're always strong here, and they've got a stronger car this year than they've had in a long time. You know, and Aston, what's Aston doing? What's McLaren? Have McLaren got figured out their, you know, like you say, their low drag issues that they were having? Who knows? Like, it just seems so much closer. So you could argue that, you know, even though Leclerc's a P3, Sainz could still be a P6, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fair. Like, it's just so close. But I'm curious to see who you've got, though, if you've gone a bit funky.
Well, see, I even thought you might put someone like Hamilton in there. So my original idea was to go Hamilton, but then that's when I had a bit of a last minute change, and I went, oh, P4. Okay, I'll put him P4 then instead. Right, if I'm not going to put him P3. I don't have someone like Russell in there, so I'm not thinking, it's just going to be Russell that's the stronger of the Merc. I don't have a Ferrari in there, even though I think they'll be good.
Have you got McLaren in there? You think McLaren's going to be quick?
I don't have McLaren in there.
Interesting.
I don't have a Stroll in there.
Damn,
I don't
that's
have
crazy.
a Alonso in there.
Interesting. Yep.
Stuff it. Let's put it down for Mr. Alex Albon. Why the hell not? I've got a lead. Wow. Why not? It's the only time you're going to realistically put him in with a guess that's not going to seem like it's a 1 in a 500 bet. I reckon there's good enough odds there where I can stretch the lead a bit. And you know what? Let's just go for it. Who knows? Damn. Like you'd say, well, what are you doing? But even you look at Zandvoort, and even in raw, you know, general pace, it just seemed fine, you know. And if things work out a certain way, if that car is as good as it could be, I don't think it's an impossible chance. I think
nope. That's why I was saying like P4. I was like, it's I could have thrown him in there. I think I do think P3 is very bold, but if it does happen, one, I'll be happy, and two, I won't be that surprised. Like, it won't be like oh my god, they've just done something absolutely miraculous. It's just you know, you can see it happening. It just, I think it does
right place, right time.
Exactly. It requires the right circumstances, but yeah, man, that'd be cool.
Well, you gotta put it in somewhere, you know. Stuff it. Let's do it. Let's have a bit of fun. Right?
Love it.
I mean, I guess we kind of went through teams that we think might be strong week here. I think even further down, Alpine is a question mark.
Yep.
And then you go further than that, you could see someone like actually Haas or Alpha having really good pace here, or they could be nowhere and they could be overheating. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But AlphaTauri as well, they could just be a double scorer here, and you could go, good job, they were quick in the straight. But I guess we've been focusing on them left, and we've been focusing on them less, and the media in general talks about them less too. So I haven't even got a clue, you know, what they've looked strong in terms of micro sectors in recent circuits. So it could, who knows, right? But all I know is that we're going to watch it. We're then going to, you know, of course, debrief afterwards as well, and chat about hopefully a very interesting and enthralling race again that's hopefully not too soggy and mixed up and all over the place, and not, you know, washed out again for a second time in Italy.
that would suck.
Be sure to stay tuned and let us know who you think will do strong all week here, if you've got any Super Bowl predictions as well. But otherwise, we will catch you on the flip side on the next one. Take care.
Bye.